The barn door creaked open just as the storm hit. Rain pounding like 1,000 accusations on the tin roof. And there he was, Elias, soaked to the bone, his Amish hat dripping, eyes wide with a fear that mirrored my own hidden secrets. I grabbed his arm, pulling him inside, our breaths mingling in the charged air. And in that instant, I knew this forbidden pull between us could shatter everything we'd ever known. But as lightning cracked outside, illuminating his gentle face, I whispered, "Stay?" And the world outside ceased to exist. My name is Alex Thompson, a 28-year-old graphic designer from bustling Philadelphia, escaping the city's relentless grind for a summer retreat in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. I'd rented a small cottage on the edge of an Amish farm, seeking solitude after a brutal breakup that left me questioning if love was even real anymore. The rolling hills, horse-drawn buggies, and simple life seemed like the perfect antidote to my chaos until I met Elias Yoder. It started innocently enough. One morning, while jogging along the dirt road, I twisted my ankle on a loose stone. Elias, working the fields nearby, saw me crumple and rushed over on his bicycle. He was 25, broad-shouldered from years of farm labor, with sun-kissed skin and a quiet strength that made my heart stutter. His plainclothes black pants, white shirt, suspenders contrasted sharply with my running shorts and neon sneakers. "You all right there? English?" he asked, using the Amish term for outsiders, his voice soft like a summer breeze. I nodded, wincing as he helped me up. His touch was firm yet tender, sending an unexpected spark through me. He insisted on walking me back to the cottage, chatting about the weather and his family's dairy farm. Over the next few days, our paths crossed often. I'd wave from my porch as he drove the plow, and he'd smile shyly, that pure innocence in his eyes drawing me in like a moth to flame. One evening, as the sun dipped low, painting the sky in oranges and pinks, Elias knocked on my door with a basket of fresh eggs and homemade bread. "Ma thought you might need these," he said, but his lingering gaze told me it was more than neighborly duty. We sat on the porch swing, talking late into the night. He shared stories of his Rumspringa Amish rite, where youth explore the outside world before committing to the church. He'd tasted city life briefly but returned, bound by family and faith. I opened up about my life, the freedom, the loneliness, the ex who shattered my trust. There was a spark, unspoken but electric. Our knees brushed, and neither pulled away. When he left, I lay awake, heart racing, wondering if he felt it too. The tension built slowly, like a storm gathering on the horizon. I started helping on the farm milking cows, stacking hay to be near him. Elias taught me the rhythms of Amish life, rising with the dawn, the satisfaction of hard work, the peace of simplicity. But beneath his gentle demeanor, I sensed turmoil. He'd steal glances when he thought I wasn't looking, his cheeks flushing. One afternoon, in the sweltering heat of the barn, we were alone pitching hay. Sweat glistened on his skin as he worked shirtless, a rare sight, his muscles rippling under the dim light. I couldn't look away. "You're different, Alex," he murmured, pausing with the pitchfork. "You see the world in colors I never knew existed." I stepped closer, my voice barely a whisper. "And you show me a purity I've lost." Our eyes met, and time stopped. He leaned in, hesitant, his lips brushing mine in a kiss that was soft, exploratory, filled with years of suppressed longing. It was my first taste of something real, untainted by games or pretense. But guilt crashed over us like cold water. Elias pulled back, eyes wide with panic. "This is sin," he whispered, invoking the strict Amish doctrines that condemned same-sex love as gravely immoral. I reached for him, but he fled into the fields, leaving me alone with the hay and my pounding heart. Days blurred into a whirlwind of stolen moments and agonizing doubt. We'd meet in secret by the creek at dusk. In the orchard under starlit skies, our conversations laced with passion and fear. Elias confessed his struggles, whispers of attraction he'd buried deep, fearing shunning from his community. "The Ordnung forbids it," he'd say, referring to the unwritten rules governing Amish life. If they knew. I shared my own battles, coming out in a world that claimed acceptance but often delivered judgment. Our love grew amid this tension, each touch a defiance, each word a lifeline. One night, under a full moon, we made love in the hayloft, his gentle hands exploring with a purity that healed my scarred soul. He taught me patience, vulnerability lessons from a life unmarred by cynicism. Yet, the outside world intruded. Rumors spread in the small community. Elias's sister, Miriam, saw us once, her eyes narrowing in suspicion. His father, a stern elder, began questioning his late nights. The pressure mounted, turning our paradise into a pressure cooker. Then came the breaking point. During a community barn-raising a festive event where neighbors gathered to build Elias and I stole away to a quiet corner. But his cousin, jealous or devout, followed and caught us in an embrace. "Abomination," he shouted, alerting the elders. Chaos erupted. Elias was hauled before the bishop, his family in tears. I watched from the shadows, heart-shattering, as they demanded repentance or face Maidung shunning, exile from all he knew. That night, Elias came to my cottage, bruised not physically but emotionally. "I can't leave them, Alex," he sobbed. "But I can't deny this anymore." We talked till dawn, weighing love against duty. I urged him to choose himself, but he taught me the depth of sacrifice. In the end, he decided to confess, hoping for mercy. The hearing was brutal. The community gathered in the meeting house, voices raised in judgment. Elias stood tall, admitting his love not as sin, but as part of God's creation. If love is wrong, then what is pure? He challenged, his voice steady. Murmurs rippled. Some condemned, but others touched by his gentleness wavered. The bishop, an old man with kind eyes, paused. "The world changes, even for us," he said softly. Elias wasn't shunned outright. Instead, probation, time to reflect, perhaps leave if needed. But in that moment, a crack formed in the rigid walls. We parted ways temporarily. I returned to Philly, carrying his lessons, that purity isn't absence of desire, but honesty in it. Elias wrote letters, his words poetic, promising visits. Months later, he arrived at my door, hat in hand but spirit free. He'd chosen a middle path, leaving the strict order but keeping faith, joining a more progressive Mennonite group nearby. Our reunion was tearful, passionate. In my city apartment, overlooking the skyline, he whispered, "You taught me to dream, Alex. But in that barn, I taught you to believe." We built a life together, bridging worlds, farm visits, city adventures, Elias became a carpenter, his gentle hands crafting beauty. I designed with renewed purpose, inspired by his purity. Our story spread quietly, inspiring others in hidden struggles. Love, we learned, isn't about perfection, it's about growth. Acceptance, the humanity that binds us. In the end, that barn wasn't just a hideaway. It was a classroom where two souls taught each other the true meaning of being alive. And in America's vast tapestry, our thread wove a pattern of hope, proving that even in division, love finds its way. As seasons turned, our bond deepened, but shadows from the past lingered. Elias moved in with me in Philadelphia, trading quiet fields for honking horns and neon lights. At first, it was magical exploring museums, holding hands in parks, free from prying eyes. His wonder at simple things, like elevators or coffee shops, reignited my jaded view of the city. But adjustment wasn't easy. Elias missed the community, the rituals. Nightmares plagued him, visions of shunning, family turning away. I'd hold him, whispering assurances, but doubt crept in. Was I selfish, pulling him from his roots? One crisp fall day, we visited his family. The farm looked unchanged. Buggies lined up, children playing. His mother embraced him tearfully, but his father stood rigid, arms crossed. "You've chosen the English way," he said gruffly. Miriam, his sister, pulled me aside. He was always different. Thank you for loving him. The visit stirred old wounds. On the drive back, Elias was silent, staring at the passing countryside. "Do you regret it?" I asked, fear knotting my stomach. He took my hand. "No, but I miss home." That night, we argued our first real fight. He accused me of not understanding sacrifice. I countered that he romanticized a life that stifled him. Words flew like daggers, ending in slammed doors. The next morning, he was gone. A note, "Need time to think. Love, Elias." Panic surged. I called friends, searched parks, even drove back to Lancaster. No trace. Days turned to weeks. My work suffering, sleep elusive. I replayed our moments, that first kiss, hayloft whispers, the hearing's bravery. Finally, a letter arrived, postmarked from Ohio, another Amish community. "Alex, I'm visiting cousins, seeking peace. Our love is real, but I must reconcile my worlds." Heartbroken yet hopeful, I threw myself into therapy, confronting my own fears of abandonment. Friends rallied, reminding me love requires space. Meanwhile, Elias's journey was tumultuous. In Ohio, he helped on a farm, but the strictness chafed. He met others like him, closeted souls whispering in barns. One night, a young man named Jonah confessed similar feelings. Temptation flickered, but Elias pulled away. "My heart belongs to another," he said. This clarity propelled him back. But en route, disaster struck. A bus accident on icy roads, Elias among the injured. Leg broken. Spirit tested. I got the call from a hospital in Pittsburgh. Rushing there, I found him bandaged, eyes lighting up at my sight. "You came," he whispered. "Of course," I replied, tears flowing. We talked for hours, his doubts, my insecurities. The accident crystallized priorities, life's fragility demanded honesty. Recovery brought us closer. I took leave, caring for him in our apartment. We attended LGBTQ support groups, where Elias shared his story, inspiring others. His gentle purity touched hearts, bridging conservative roots with progressive ideals. One evening, as snow fell outside, he proposed, not with a ring, but a hand-carved wooden box. Will you build a life with me, blending our worlds? Yes, 1,000 times. Our wedding was intimate, city friends mingling with Mennonite family in a Lancaster barn, the same one where it began. Vows exchanged under twinkling lights, promising to honor differences, nurture growth. Life flourished. We bought a small farm outside Philly, a hybrid haven, solar panels alongside horse stalls. Elias taught woodworking classes, empowering youth. I designed campaigns for LGBTQ rights, drawing from our tale. Challenges persisted, prejudice from both sides, but we faced them united. Elias's father softened, visiting occasionally, sharing meals. Miriam became an ally, advocating quietly in her community. Through it all, Elias taught me resilience, that gentleness isn't weakness, but strength. I showed him the world's vastness, proving love expands horizons. Our story became a beacon. A local paper featured us, sparking dialogues on faith and identity. Young Amish on Rumspringa reached out, finding solace. In quiet moments, we'd sit in our barn, hay scent evoking memories. Who knew a twisted ankle would lead here? I'd tease. He'd smile, pure as ever. God works in mysterious ways, or maybe just kind strangers. Our love, born in secrecy, bloomed into something profound, a testament to humanity's capacity for change, acceptance, and unbreakable bonds. Years passed, our life a tapestry of joys and trials, each thread strengthening the whole. But fate tested us again when Elias's health faltered. What started as fatigue turned into a diagnosis, a rare blood disorder, likely from farm chemicals exposure in his youth. The news hit like a thunderbolt. Treatments loomed: chemo, hospitals, uncertainty. Why now? He whispered. His gentle eyes dimmed. I held him, vowing to fight together. We navigated the medical maze, drives to specialists in Philly, nights of worry. Elias's faith sustained him. Mine wavered, but his purity reignited it. Community rallied. City friends organized fundraisers. Mennonite kin sent prayers and quilts. Even his Amish father arrived, hat in hand, offering silent support. A bridge mended. Amid the storm, romance endured. We'd escape to our farm, watching sunsets, reminiscing. Remember that barn? He'd say, voice soft. How could I forget? You taught me everything there. One grueling treatment day, as he rested, I reflected on our journey, from forbidden kisses to shared vows, cultural clashes to harmonious blend. Elias embodied gentleness, teaching me empathy's power. In turn, I showed him self-love's freedom. As recovery progressed slowly, a miracle unfolded. A clinical trial in New York offered hope. We relocated temporarily, immersing in the city's pulse. Elias marveled at skyscrapers, his wonder childlike. But complications, erosion, infection sidelining him. In the hospital, feverish, he confessed regrets, not reconciling sooner, hiding his truth. No regrets. I insisted. You've lived authentically. inspired so many. He squeezed my hand. And you, Alex, you gave me wings. The crisis peaked one stormy night. Monitors beeping frantically. Doctors rushed. I prayed, bargaining with the universe. He pulled through, emerging stronger. The trial succeeding. Remissiona's second chance. Back home, we cherished every moment. Elias wrote a memoir, Barn of Awakening, sharing our story anonymously at first, then boldly. It resonated, sparking TED Talks, support groups for LGBTQ in conservative faiths. Our farm became a sanctuary, retreats for struggling youth, blending Amish simplicity with modern acceptance. Elias mentored, his pure heart guiding. One spring day, under blooming orchards, we renewed vows. Family surrounded Ushi's parents fully present. Tears of pride. You were my unexpected teacher, I said. And you, my gentle liberator. As twilight fell, we walked to the barn, hands entwined. Inside, hay bales unchanged, memories flooded. Here, I learned love's true form, he murmured. And I, its depth. Our kiss sealed it passionate, eternal. In America's diverse landscape, our tale underscored unity that differences enrich. Love transcends barriers. Humanity prevails through compassion. Elias lived fully, his legacy enduring. Though time claimed him eventually, peacefully at 65, his lessons lingered. I carried on, advocating. The barn a shrine to our love. He was Amish, gentle, pure, but in that barn, he taught me more, that love, in all forms, is life's greatest teacher, fostering growth, healing divides, affirming our shared humanity. And in that, we found meaning everlasting.